My full name is Georgette Cebrario. May 2nd, 1948. I was born at the General Hospital in Port Arthur, but came right home after. So lived here all my life. Paternal grandparents were born in Canada, but my maternal grandparents were born in what was then called Poland, but actually they were Ukrainian, and Poland had at one time taken over the Ukraine. I was married in 1967, Paul Joseph Cebrario. We met, actually my sister had dated him, he says not dated, we were friends, Georgie, but he met me through her and invited me to a teen town dance. In those days there were very big teen town dances, and they were the place to go. I have 4 children. Laura in 1967, and then we had Joe 1970, Kevin, who was adopted in 1972, and Christopher 1975. Yes, before I was married, I worked in the old Kakamo store in the butcher shop, and I really, really enjoyed that, and I find it kind of cute that my grandson's working in the Costa Food Market butcher shop right now and enjoying it. And I volunteered, was kind of, today it's politically incorrect to say mentally retarded, but I volunteered for the Mental Retarded Association, and that's what it was called in those days, and worked very hard at teaching people that they were people and to be accepted in the community. And I've always done all my life, and to this day, volunteering for the pro-life issues. I go around teaching, I did a program through the schools, and I promote it every which way that I am able to. So I still do that. You know, the get-togethers and the community spirit, my very favorite, biggest memory was, of course, of our 100th anniversary gatherings. But like every 4th of July and all the events, like the whole community came out and participated, and it was a real lot of fun. You know, it was mostly all family-spirited stuff. It was walk down to Cook's Lake and have a picnic down there, walk down to Lake Superior with my dad carrying everything on his back and having marshmallows and hot dogs and fishing and doing things like that. We did a lot of, one of the memories that I had was at Halloween making pull toffee with my parents and siblings, and it was all family stuff that we did. It wasn't big adventures, it was family ideas that we were doing. I think we were one of the last families around that, until I was 11, I didn't have indoor plumbing, and we lived in a very small house. The telephone service was so different. You had, you'd phone the local operator, and she would plug you into the place that you wanted to go to. And the funny stories about it was, you know, when I started having my babies, and I'd want to phone and say, you know, baby's arrived, just a minute, wait, I'll put Paul through first. I'll put you through to Paul, and Paul, remember to send her flowers today. And everybody knew your business, and a lot of times it was party lines, and so that was a big thing. You know, we had so many stores in town. We had the McGill shoe store, we had the Bay clothing store. We had a theater in town at the time, and we used for our recreation too, and we had a bowling alley. We had everything for a little space of time, eh? And that was created a lot of fun for us. You'd get this television with 3 channels on it, and it wasn't on all night or all day, only for certain hours, and we personally didn't have one. It was a big thing to go a couple of times a year to our neighbors and watch a television show. And they were often very grainy, and nobody would put up with that today. Oh yes, on Wednesday night we would all get together as a family and watch or listen to Dragnet on the radio. Like, we didn't personally have a TV in our house, so Dragnet was the program to listen to, and it was a mystery, a detective story actually, and that's what we did. And yes, we didn't have, of course, a bathtub in the house, so we boiled the water Saturday night, and everybody took turns having a bath, and just accepted it. We didn't know that you know, the other families had already started to have bathtubs and stuff, but we didn't at the time. Paydays were very special because we got to buy the brick of ice cream, and you see them today. And well, you had to eat the whole brick because we didn't have a freezer or anywhere to keep it. So, boy, we looked forward to paydays. Yes, you got one gift from Santa, and the yearly stockings were always the same. In our house, you'd get a Japanese orange, and you'd get some nuts, and always a little harmonica and some hard candies. And that was our stocking. None of the things like the idea that the kids get so much today. That was your stocking. That's what you got. And for the old subway, I was saying, we always had a subway. We actually had a street light in town at one point because the subway was only for one vehicle at a time, so they needed the street light so you knew when to go through. Yes, the CPR workers in the olden days, and I wish it were back, we actually got to ride the train. So every summer I went for holidays with my family out in Winnipeg and spent the whole summer there. And oh my God, when they cut that out, I was just devastated. And we have to stay home now. We were a big church community, and you did everything as the church family. They would have church parades in those days. They used to have open, I can remember, I don't know how many times going to the ball field, and they'd have a mass there, and you would parade down, and it was big and happy and full of fun. No, we went out to play all the time, and we went swimming, and we went swimming up at Walker's Lake, up to where Garrity's had a private beach. And the thing about that, we went, not us and our parents. The kids went. The kids had the freedom, and you went out, and everybody seemed to have the same curfew. So you went out to play, and you always came home pretty well on time because everybody followed the kind of same neighborhood curfews, and so you knew when to go in. And we stayed out all day. We didn't, we played things like alleys and kick the can and baseball and road hockey. And personally, I didn't play road hockey, but everybody else did, and had fun. And bike riding was big. You spent the days out on your bike. Yes, I do have hobbies now. I have gardening, and I can't say that I'm a good gardener. It doesn't always turn out the way that I wanted it to, but I really enjoy my gardening, and I do quilting now in a big way, and love the camaraderie of being part of the quilting club. And of course I read all the time. I think the get-togethers of all the things like winter carnivals, the sports days, the community involvement things were really the things that I hang on to the most. That the teen town dances, that everybody did things together really was the biggest memory that I would, not one big important memory, but just the time spent together with everybody.